What mental state were you in to make this decision that I'm gonna leave my entire career that is going well here in the Philippines and spend all your money and where you don't know anyone and just think that,
yeah,
hey,
and it is expensive out here.
it is incredibly, you guys buying like 2 drinks is equivalent to how much I spend on food for a week in the Philippines. No. Everything in LA is so expensive.
It's ridiculous. I always wanted to be an actress. Like, I would speak in different accents. I would faint. I was a very dramatic child. And so fast forward to years later, I end up being discovered and launched and all these things. But during that process, they changed everything about me. When I was 12 and they changed my name, they kind of gave me a very warped perspective of my own identity. So when I became Carla, Madeline ceased to exist. So I was never able to fully get to know who Madeline was and who she would have been if she was allowed to be the eccentric artist, awkward child that she was. Right before I moved out to LA, I had reached a point where I didn't have a relationship with myself because I didn't know who I was. I was afloat. I felt lost. I felt like I was just floating through life, like trying to figure things out, but I didn't feel connected or grounded to anything.
At what stage did this depression begin to manifest?
In my mid-20s.
Was that when we met or before we met?
Actually, we met right at the beginning of that.
Right at the beginning of your depression.
Yeah, I had just come back from France. I fell in love. I got heartbroken and I moved back to the Philippines. And
so
then
your depression stemmed from being heartbroken?
It was the tipping point. So, you know, when you're an actor, especially like at important transformative years, your family and the people that like mold you are the people on set because those are the people you're exposed to. And so that was my comfort zone. But I was kind of like, I had invested more than the 10,000 hours in acting. It was all I ever knew how to do. So I just figured I'd stick to it and like just go about my life. And at that point, I booked a movie which was produced by a friend, Dante Basco. It was with Rian Ramos and we started filming. And at that point, I remember Rian was like entertaining and trying to penetrate the industry in New York. I know she was entertaining the thought and she was like going to New York and like seeing like what
doing something bigger than the Philippines.
She was saying how hard it is because she's not American. And then Dante looks at me and he's like, Mads, what the are you doing with your life? I know that it's gonna be hard starting from scratch if I'm gonna commit to moving to a brand new country. And it's gonna be so scary and I have no family out here. So when I came here and things just felt right and it just felt like things were falling into place, I didn't give myself the luxury to overthink it because I tend to overthink. And I just told my parents, I was like, Mom, Dad, I think I'm moving to Los Angeles. And they're like supportive, you know, I guess because they kind of saw that it was the next step for me.
So do you think you're ever gonna go back to Manila and go back to, you know, Philippine television?
I don't know where life's gonna take me, but I'm committed to staying here till I feel like I've created something. My love for film extends past acting. Like I could be in front, behind the camera, and I'd be just as happy. I think like eventually I want to direct some films in Manila when I'm at the point where I feel like my vision is solid and my style is solid. I feel a sense of responsibility as a woman to just like take female stories to a different level out there. But I have to be confident in my own vision before I do so. The world these days doesn't have to be limited to one place. I mean, you out of all the people should know that. Like you're creating work and experiences for yourself everywhere, but you just choose to have one home right now. We're both like multicultural people. So I feel like my home is like I'm the world. I feel at home in many places. It's me saying at this point of my life, this is where my growth lies. So this is where I'll be present for now. And then who knows what possibilities may happen after that.
If you liked what you saw and you want to listen to the full episode, then download Spotify and follow us at Superhuman with Will Dasovich. It's completely free, it's linked below and easy to use.